Hey, what's up everyone? Josh Quinones here, and today I want to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. You know, we're coming up on about 3 months now since I've had this phone right here, and I kind of just want to share what my experience has been like since day one, you know, especially since I never really gave an actual review video for this phone right here. So this video isn't going to be anything fancy or anything like that, just me kind of talking and sharing my experience. Now, I do want to point out a special deal that's going on right now up until the 18th. So if you're watching this video before the 18th, you're going to want to take advantage of this deal if you have not picked up one of these devices for yourself just yet. So the deal that's being offered to the public right now is $300 off with enhanced $1,000 trading credit, and then $350 off with no trading credit. But if you use my specific link down in the description below, you can get $350 off with that enhanced $1,000 trading credit, or $450 off with no trade-in credit. So that's an extra $100 off that you're getting if you do use my specific link down in the description below. So if you do find yourself interested in this device, you've been wanting to pick one up, I would definitely take advantage of this early Black Friday deal specific to my link down in the description. So just wanted to go ahead and throw that out at you guys. But let's go ahead and talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 4. So the first thing I'll start off with is the overall design and display. Now I will say this phone is not going to be for everyone. I've had some people, you know, look at this phone, get a little bit hands-on with my device and say, I currently have a case on right now, so this is going to add a little bit to that bulk. But I've had people say, you know what, it's cool. They love the concept of the phone. It's definitely a head turner, but some people just find it to still be too bulky to fit in their pockets. And I'm kind of someone that has experienced this, you know, sometimes on a Sunday morning on my way to church, or when I got my, you know, my Sunday suit on, sometimes this phone is a little bit too bulky for my pockets, depending on how fitted my pants are, or my suit jacket. This phone could be a little bit too bulky for that. So, you know, I'll either have to take my Pixel 7 Pro with me or my Galaxy S22 Ultra, since those are thinner devices. But if I'm just wearing, you know, a pair of jeans, shorts, or whatever, then I personally have no problem carrying this phone around. I don't really find it to be too bulky for me, like I said, unless I'm wearing something fitted, like a nice suit or something like that. And I can see how a lot of other people would find this device kind of bulky for them, especially if you're used to, you know, using a super thin device, like I said, like a Galaxy S22 Ultra or my Pixel 7 Pro. Now, when it's open, no, it is definitely not that bulky. It's actually pretty thin. For a folding device, I would say, you know what, let me go ahead and let me take this case off right now. This is actually my favorite case that I've been using for it so far, the official Samsung case. And if you find yourself interested, I'll leave a link down in the description below. One reason I like it is because you can actually take this back part off right here, and it's kind of hard to do. There we go. You can take this off, and there's another part that goes in there that holds the S Pen. So if I ever feel like taking the S Pen with me, all I got to do is just pop it on there and carry it around with me, and it doesn't add too much bulk to that specific case. Now, when it's open, it's nice and thin. I love the design of this phone for a folding device. I like what Samsung did this year with the front display. They did make it a little bit wider than with the Galaxy Z Fold 3. Now, in my opinion, I do wish they would have made it even a little bit wider. I love the height. I think the height is right where it needs to be, but maybe even just a little bit more wider, because yeah, while it is nice, you know, compared to the Z Fold 3, because it is a little bit wider, it sometimes can still be a little hard to use it, you know, with two hands. Using it one-handed is a breeze, you know, it's easy. But when you're typing out a text message or something, it could be a little hard, especially for me. I got a little short, fat thumb. So if you're someone like me, you might have a little bit of a hard time, you know, typing something out on this. For me personally, I either use the swipe to text or the voice to text, and I'm good to go with that. But if you're someone who does like using two hands on the front display, you know, of your device, then you might have a little bit of a hard time with the front display on this. But again, it is nice that they did make it a little bit wider than the Z Fold 3, but hopefully next year they can make it even just a little bit more wider, kind of like a regular smartphone. If they were to do that, then that would also mean we get a bigger display on the inside. But if they were just to do that, I mean, that would be great for this front display, because I actually do use this front display. It's got a nice smooth feel to it. I mean, you're getting that 120 hertz. It's smooth. I have no problems with it at all. I've maybe had well, we'll talk about performance in a little bit, but for the most part, it is a smooth experience, very vibrant, beautiful display. I just wish it was a little bit wider, but I still use it for things like, you know, if I need to reply back to a quick text message or an email, or maybe if I want to show somebody a picture real quick, I'll pull that up. Or if I'm pulling out the camera real quick, you know, I don't want to have to open up the phone, hit that camera app, and then have to take my picture. No, I want to be able to pull out my phone, hit the camera app, and then quickly take my photo or video. So using this front display is definitely a must with this folding device, because you're not always going to need to use that inner display. But I think the overall design is great for a folding phone. They definitely did make it, in my opinion, I think it's pretty thin for a folding phone, you know, when it's folded up like this. And then especially when it's open, it's even thinner. Now, when it comes to using this inside display, I personally think it's great. Again, a beautiful display, nice and vibrant. It definitely gets bright enough, especially when using it outside in the bright sunlight. At least for me, I do find it bright enough. That crease in the middle, it's there. I mean, you do see it if you're looking at it, you know, at a certain angle, or if you got light shining at a certain angle. But if you're just using the phone straight on, you know, just like this, just using the phone, you know, straight on, you're not really gonna notice. And honestly, you get used to it pretty quick, especially if you find yourself just enjoying, you know, this beautiful big display. You're not really paying attention to that. At least for me, I don't find myself ever paying attention to that crease down in the middle. I'm enjoying the overall experience of this inner display, because the cool thing about this phone when it comes to the overall design, I mean, you're getting a phone and a tablet all in one, and that's what makes this phone unique. That's what makes this a head turner. If you're next to someone at a store, you open this up like this, most of the time people are gonna look and be like, whoa, like what phone is that? Or what are you using? I'm an example of this because it has happened to me more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. I've literally had random people take a look at my phone, see me opening it up in the store. And sometimes I do it on purpose just because I like to show it off. I mean, it's cool. Why wouldn't you want to show this off? I've had people like, yo, what phone is that? So I think when it comes to overall design, I think it's great. Both displays are great. The sides, I wish they would have made them a matte finish like what we have in the back, because yeah, they do tend to get fingerprints all around, you know, the hinge and all around, you know, the sides, the edges. And it is noticeable if you're really looking at it, and it could look a bit ugly. So I'll just, you know, kind of wipe it down like this, give it a nice clean look. But when you start using it again, I mean, you're getting fingerprints all over those sides. So it'd be nice if they were able to make those a matte finish somehow, just like what we get in the back. Now, this fingerprint sensor actually works right on every single time as well. I got to talk about that because there is no in-display fingerprint sensor like what we see with their other Galaxy devices. It is here on the side on that power button. I find it to be right in the right spot. I mean, that is literally right where my thumb lands. So I have no problem with the height of it. And then the volume rockers are just a little bit above that. So I find those to be in the perfect spot, at least for me. I don't have the biggest hands. And yeah, my thumb just lands right there, right where it is. And it works every single time. I don't think I've had one time where this fingerprint sensor on the power button misses. So that definitely works great. Now, going back to the inside display, I want to talk about performance. And this kind of goes for both. It's definitely a smooth experience. You're getting that 120 hertz display on the inside and on the outside, and it is just super buttery smooth. I mean, I'm sure you've heard this on many videos and many of my videos as well, but it's because it's true. I mean, look at that. I mean, you probably won't be able to tell here on camera, but it is just, it is butter. So I have no problems when it comes to performance, just, you know, going through the app drawer, going in and out of apps, whether I'm using, you know, social media, watching something on YouTube, editing videos on this device. It definitely handles editing it and rendering 4K video very well. I haven't had any problems at all with that. Going through social media, what else? What am I forgetting? It basically handles everything that I do on my phone just right for me. Now, obviously, you know, everybody's usage is different. There might be things I haven't done on my phone that you may do on your phone that it might not handle well. I really don't know, but for everything that I do on my device, I mean, it handles it perfectly. Now, I do got to be honest here though. There may have been 3 times, maybe 4 times. I know there was a few times where this device, it did freeze up on me to where it would only go up and down, but it wouldn't go side to side. I'm like, what the heck, what's going on my phone? I tried to go to the side and it wouldn't go to the side. It would just go up and down for some reason. I think there was like 3 or 4 times where it did do that, you know, over these past 3 months that I've had this device, and I did have to restart my phone. So that was kind of like, okay, you know, what's going on here? But I mean, it hasn't happened, that maybe happened a few weeks ago. And then since then it's been fine. Other than that, you know, performance has been great. Like I said, when I am using this for everything that I use it for, I mean, it handles everything great. Watching content on this big display right here is definitely enjoyable. And when it comes to watching content on my device, out of all the other phones I have, I'm definitely picking up this one right here because of that bigger display. It just makes it more enjoyable. The speakers get nice and loud as well. And then if I want to, I can always fold it up, and then you do get this display right here. You know, it kind of cuts it in half, which is almost, you know, about the size of a regular smartphone. But I can easily just set it down on the table like that and just watch a video like that if I really want to, if I don't want to have to, you know, try to set it up like this somehow. So it's definitely cool, and it definitely comes in handy being able to fold like this in half and still be able to watch content. So content is definitely a must with this smartphone. This is a go-to smartphone for watching videos, whether it's on Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, whatever it is, it's gonna be an enjoyable experience on this device right here. Even gaming, if I do get, and I'm not the biggest gamer when it comes to gaming, you know, on my smartphones, you know, sometimes I'll do it for a video here on the channel just to show, you know, how well or how not well, you know, a phone can handle some games. But when it does come to gaming on a device, this is definitely my go-to device just because of the fact that it has this big display on the inside. It just makes it easier to play, especially if you're playing, you know, a shooting game. You get more room here, so your fingers aren't, you know, hitting each other or whatever. You can be able to use the buttons wherever they are and still see what you're doing. So playing games on this device is definitely a must. And then of course, yeah, you could use that outside display as well. But I mean, why are you gonna do that when you got this huge display on the inside? You got a little mini tablet right here in your hand. So overall performance is great. Like I said, design is great. The displays are absolutely beautiful. It's been handling everything that I've thrown at it, except for those few times where it did freeze up on me. I did have an update on this device, so maybe, you know, that's gonna help out. You know, I maybe won't experience those issues anymore. Like I said, it was just a few times. It's not like all the time. It doesn't happen all the time. Now, when it comes to the cameras on this device, now they're not the best cameras that you can get in a smartphone. They're not, you know, S22 Ultra level or Pixel 7 Pro level, but they're still good cameras. I mean, you can get some really good shots with the cameras on this phone. Yeah, you don't have, you know, that super zoom or anything like that, you know, 100 times zoom or whatever, but you're still gonna get some good shots. If you're someone that doesn't care about that zoom or anything like that, you're not gonna have any problems with the cameras on this phone, whether it's the selfie camera or the 3 rear facing lenses. You got that ultra wide angle lens that can capture a good shot as well. In my opinion, video quality is pretty decent on this device as well. I'm glad Samsung actually put some good cameras in their folding device. You know, not like last year with the Z Fold 3. Yeah, they were good, but they weren't their best cameras. I mean, because you're paying so much money for these phones, especially this one right here. You would want the best of everything, right? You're putting so much money into this device. I see it as a super premium device just because of the type of phone that it is. So why not put their best cameras in there? And yeah, they didn't do that again this time. They didn't put their best cameras in here, but they did put some really good cameras on this phone, at least in my opinion. But when it comes to that inside display camera, I am definitely not using this camera to take pictures or video or anything like that. The only thing that I would probably use this inside camera for is maybe video calls, and that's pretty much it. So you can at least see yourself and the other person on this, you know, bigger display. But other than that, I'm not even using that inside camera. And honestly, I don't think I've ever used this inside camera other than for my camera test. And, and that was it. Honestly, the quality it just isn't there because it is under that display. It kind of gives it like a fuzzy look. But yeah, it's not for me. It's definitely not for me. And another cool thing I like about one of the features on this phone when it comes to using the cameras is that you can use these rear cameras as a selfie camera. And basically it'll just show what's on this outer display, whatever's coming through on those cameras. So if you're wanting to shoot video with the best cameras on this device or take a picture, you can definitely do that. So that's one really cool feature on this device when it comes to using these cameras. Now, when it comes to overall durability, I know this seems like a phone that you might want to be really, really careful with, but honestly, it's been holding up well. I mean, yeah, I do got a glass screen protector in the front and I do use a case on it, but it's not, you know, the thickest case. It's a pretty thin case, plastic case. And I have dropped this phone many times, you know, in this case still, but you would think that it would kind of mess something up. And honestly, I mean, it's been working good. I haven't had any problems when it comes to durability with this device right here. So overall, I mean, I have to say that so far this year in 2022, I mean, I know we're pretty much at the end of the year, but this has to be my favorite, funnest phone that I've used this year of 2022. That's just for me. I wouldn't say it's the best phone of 2022 because, like I said, sometimes I can't really take it everywhere with me just because of how thick it could be. Even though, like I said, it's It's thin for a folding device, but it's still not thin like a regular device. And sometimes I can't fit it in my pockets depending on what I'm wearing. And I kind of don't want to be, having to carry this around in my hand all the time. So that's probably one very small downside. Battery life on this has been great. It gets me, this is an all day phone. And battery life isn't going to be the same for everyone because everyone's usage is different. But for me and what I use my phone for, this definitely gets me through an entire day. Unless I'm heavily using this phone, then yeah, it won't last all the way into the night. I will have to throw it on the charger for a little bit to get through the rest of the day. But for the most part, for what I use my phone for, battery life has been great on this device. I get around maybe 7 hours of screen on time, average around 7 hours of screen on time. And yeah, it's been great. But like I said, not everybody's usage is the same. You might not get as much battery life as me. I have done an all-day battery drain test with this phone right here. So you guys can go check that out if you want to, if you have not already. But like I said, for me, battery life has been great. I have no problems with it whatsoever. I do like that it is water resistant, just like the last one. So I have gotten this phone wet a few times, haven't had any problem with that. For those of you who have been wondering about that, because yeah, it might say water resistant, but you still have that fear of, okay, but there has to be some way water is going to get inside this folding phone and mess it all up for you. But no, I haven't had any problems with that either. So for the most part, for a folding phone, I can definitely recommend the Galaxy Z Fold 4. I have been loving this device. If you're looking to get something different than just the regular old smartphone, and you want something that's gonna turn heads, something that's going to be very fun to use, then yeah, try it out, pick it up. Like I said, I'll have a link down in the description below if you do want to take advantage of that early Black Friday deal. You don't want to miss out on that. I'm not really sure what deals are going to come when it gets closer to Black Friday, but like I said, this is an early Black Friday deal that they're not offering on their actual website unless you use the link down in the description below. So go ahead and check that out if you want to. If you do have this device for yourself, how's it been holding up for you? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm really curious to know if y'all are actually having the same experience as me with this device. Have you actually been enjoying it since you've had it? Like I said, I have been loving my experience with this phone. It has to be my favorite phone of 2022. Like I said, not the best phone of 2022, but definitely my favorite when it comes to just overall, just everything, because it's different, it's fun to use. But y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you did like this video and find it a bit helpful, make sure to leave it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other future videos to come. This has been my experience with the Galaxy Z Fold 4 over these past 3 months. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is Josh Quinones. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.